So you have a safe conduct policy in place for your church. What is the best way to go about training those staff and volunteers who work with children and youth around the policy and around boundaries?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kelly, and I think it walks us into that same question I had about nuance. Your policy of training should be nuanced enough to know the difference and respond differently to supervisory board members, senior ministers who work all the time supervising your staff, to youth worker who works 40 hours a week with youth, to the volunteer who's going to show up for a 2-day event. And it needs to respect the difference in the logic of more intense training where there's more intense participation. Optimally, I think you want the training to accomplish 2 things, or maybe 3 things. You want the mere fact of the training to signal how important the issue is. So however you do the training in a way that maximizes the communication, this is important and we take it seriously, you want to lean into that maximization. You want it substantively deep and comprehensive so it raises awareness not just of what the clear and bright line boundaries are, but what the risks and peripheral behaviors are that need to be attended to. And you want it to be enduring so it isn't easily forgotten or we check the box and then we forget about it. So what does that mean? I think for your professional staff and your full-time staff, it should be off-site, run by professionals. Every denomination runs training programs. Every seminary runs training programs. I think you make the point of the importance. You have more sophisticated training. You have more prospect of durability of the lessons if it's a 2-day event at an off-site with professional trainers. When you're talking about folks who might be volunteers or they work 10 hours a week and it's not practicable for them to commit a weekend or for you to pay $500 for a training program, I still would rather see outside professional trainers come in than an equally informed and equally adept staff member. It just sends a signal, it sends a message, and it creates less of a risk. I would never want to accuse anyone of this, of a certain casualness about the communication that might come when there's a lot of familiarity between the people in the room. So that second thing I'd say would be in-person training by outside experts. Next, it's a person who only volunteers a couple times a year, and training's going to be run by the senior minister or the youth minister. It still should be in person, if at all possible. And the senior minister and the youth minister, whoever's doing the training, maybe the supervisory board as a whole, they've got to remember that no matter how many times they've run this program, no matter how many times they've done this training with this volunteer, the seriousness and the level of attentiveness is signaled by how seriously they take the training. Oh, you know this, Joe, we've been over this last year, same as last year. No, send the signal. Now, we found, I think most people will find, that if someone's coming back from college and they're just going to go on a weekend retreat, they're not going to come in for your 2-day training at the church. They're not going to go to an offsite. I think it's acceptable with the right intention and level of investment to provide online training materials for them and then maybe quiz them a little bit about that they completed them. So again, we are in the area of neither black nor white, but nuances that, when in doubt, lean into the more serious in-person training if possible.